Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Ronline Report. You know today's guest very well. He was one of the world's top classic physique professionals. He is now on his way to becoming one of the world's top 212 bodybuilding pros. George Da Bull Peterson. How are you, sir?
I'm great, Ron. Thanks for having me again, man. I appreciate it.
First question I want to lead with is uh, were you like upset all that time when people, like a-holes like me were saying, this guy should be a 212, this guy should be a 212. And now you're looking at a perspective, maybe they were right because I'm going to be a kick-ass 212. There's no doubt.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, at the time in the beginning, I was a little upset, I mean, and it kind of got to me a little bit why, everybody was saying, "Oh, you should be in 212. You should," and like it was like a normal defensive reaction to me to be like, what to want to say, "Don't tell me where I belong. I want to be in classic,"
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because I felt like I felt like I was a legitimate classic, bodybuilder, that fit in the classic physique division. So I felt like, oh, this is where I belong. I mean, I turned pro as a classic. In that first year at the Olympia that I did, 2017, out of the top five guys, I was the only guy who turned pro actually as a classic Z competitor. So I was like, oh, I'm classic. Yeah. So in the beginning, it did bother me. But you know what? I felt like those years that I spent in the classic physique was preparation for me to be able to make this transition into 212. If I would have tried to, like let's say if I went pro in 2016 and then automatically went into the 212, I don't think I would have been ready. I think I would have need a little bit more time. So I feel like these years in classic, without me knowing, helped prepare me for this transition.
Yeah, because you put up, I believe it's you that's put up in some of your social media pictures of you in the last year you were bodybuilding, which would have
Right,
been like 2013 or something. I don't know,
right,
2012.
right,
And you look so much. You didn't look the way you look now back then. Your physique
right,
still had, it was rough around the edges. It just wasn't done. It wasn't refined yet.
right,
So as a bodybuilder, you weren't a great bodybuilder then, but I
right,
feel like these past few years, you've brought up different areas. You've gotten more refinement to the muscle, a lot more detail. You're so much more ready to be a very, very competitive pro bodybuilder now than you were then. I think everything happens for a reason, and everything seems to have worked out. It seems to be going to plan as far as I can see.
I
Yeah.
mean, I'd say so. I mean, even back then, I mean, I would say so myself that like the potential was there. One of the key factors is, proper guidance. And that's why, like, I thank God that I was able to, by circumstance, run into Justin Miller, who was able to provide me with that guidance and help me develop my physique in the way that it should have been. And that's now I feel like I can become the bodybuilder that I was meant to be. You
Right.
know.
So I've been checking out your social media. You have a great YouTube channel, which is also called George Peterson. Everyone check that out. It's got a great series there by who's the guy from New England Muscle Media?
His name is Ricky Latz, and his Instagram is at New England Muscle Media, and he's just awesome.
Where's he based out of? I'm just curious.
Boston.
I was going to say because you're not in New England.
Yeah, I'm not going. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, I don't even know if I consider Connecticut New
Actually,
England.
I don't think I'm known. Actually, I stand corrected. I don't think he's not out of Boston, but he's in Massachusetts, but he's
We
not
all we,
Boston.
we all say Boston because
I know
nobody.
exactly.
If I say I live in Stoughton, you're like, huh? I just
Yeah,
say just
exactly.
Boston, Boston, Boston. If
And they
within
have a
50 miles.
I had no idea like they had like their completely different jargon out there because I remember when he was out here with me and it was late night. We just finished filming and we was heading back to the house and he was hungry and I wanted to stop and get him something to eat. He asked me if there was any grinder shops around and I looked at him. I was like, what the hell is a grinder shop? Like I thought he meant like a butcher shop or something, but he just meant like a hero store, like someplace where you could buy a hero sandwich
We
and
say
something
subs. I don't know what he's talking about. Sub shop.
So like they call it a grinder out there. I'm like, that's crazy. I never heard that.
We do call soda tonic. That's
Oh
true.
really?
Tonic. I mean, I don't,
Tom.
but my mother
Oh,
did. My older brothers and sisters still do. Uh,
okay.
but let's get back to you. So
Okay.
I've been following your social media, your videos on YouTube, and man, you're training heavy.
Mhm.
I'm is are legs the main focus? Because I'm seeing some crazy, crazy leg training. I'm that idiot that will pause the video and count the plates on the leg press. I counted 30 plates on the leg press. You were banging out deep reps. The
uh,
squats, it's very hard to count those plates at golds because they're like this big. They're these big fat
Yeah,
rubber coated plates. You're
yeah.
either doing 5 plates or 6 plates. I couldn't tell.
It was five plates.
That's a lot of damn weight. I don't care.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, obviously we know your back doesn't need to be any better. What are the areas that you wanted to improve on before you get up there with the 212 guys?
I mean, me, breaking down myself, legs and arms, like, legs and arms, because I have relatively long legs, relatively long arms. So I just want to fill them out nice so that when I'm on the stage, they're nice and full.
Okay. Are you still training the same split, following the same split, or have you switched things up to focus more on those areas?
I'm following the same split essentially. Now it's just pretty much just balls to the wall. More weight. Lifting as much weight as I can possibly, but staying safe with it at the same time. You know, um, I mean, right now I'm in the process of enjoying the holidays a little bit. But still training at the same time. But in the next couple of months, that's when you're gonna really see things turned up to another level.
I bet. Yeah, I was going to say, because, when you had to get down to 192 all this time, I'm imagining Justin wanted you to keep your off-season weight within a certain range, just so
Mhm.
it wouldn't be such a pain in the ass to get down to 192 when the time came. Is that going to change? Is that going to go up higher? Like maybe you had to stay at no higher than 230, and now he'll let you 240, 250 if you really want to?
That's absolutely going to change. So no more do we have to worry about staying at like 220, 225 now. We're gonna be going up to at least 240. And, at least who knows, it might even be 250, and then and then die down to the 212. Be on stage. Right there at the top end. 212, maybe even 215 on stage. Who knows? But definitely, obviously now we can take the handcuffs off of how heavy we can get in the off season.
Take the regulator off the engine.
Right, exactly. And the key is going to be now, like, because something else that we've always had to kind of regulate is, how much food I'm taking in. Now that's going to also kind of, pretty much go away. Now I'll be able to get more food, and that's what's going to be the key to my development. Is just now more food, more food, and then my body will respond to it.
Yeah. I mean, did you have to keep your portions smaller even in the off season for the past
Yeah.
few years? Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely, definitely.
Yeah.
It'll be much better.
I mean, did you feel like you were bodybuilding with one hand tied behind your back this whole time?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, kind of so, because it's like I've always been saying. It's like these, the weight caps in classic. I mean, I understand why they're there, uh, but when you're a competitor and you want to make improvements, it's kind of hard to make those improvements when you have to constantly keep coming down to that same weight. So now that I have 20-pound jump, that's so much room for improvement. So I'm curious myself because even I don't know what to expect. How I'm going to be looking to say 212, 215 shredded to the bone. I mean, Justin is pretty confident of what it's going to look like. I'm just curious, but curious and again very excited to see what it's going to look like. Because I know it's going to
Because
be good.
you would drop, how much water weight would you typically have to drop the last, I don't know, 12, 24 hours before weigh-ins when you were doing classic?
I would say roughly about uh, 10 to 12 pounds of of
Wow.
water, roughly.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
So as a 212, would you not want to be ripped at 220 and come down to 212 with water weight because then you wouldn't have time to fill out? Or would that, maybe you will get to a point where you're going to be shredded and stage ready at 220 and you just suck out the water to make the weight? Do you have any idea, or am I getting way ahead of you at this point?
Well, I mean, I think if it got to a point where I'm becoming, contest ready, shredded to the bone at 220 pounds, I mean, then I think that would be a sign. Okay, it's time to maybe go to open.
Mm, mm.
No, because
Ah,
I don't know. That's a lot. I mean, I
yeah.
don't know. We'll just have to see. I think it'll be a couple of years before I'll end up, being to the point where I'm 220 and shredded to the bone, ready to hit the stage. I think that'll probably maybe that might won't be until another maybe 2 years or so.
Yeah.
But from now, I think it'll be right on the money. Like as soon as we start the contest prep and I start dieting down, I'll be show ready by 212, no problem, easy. You
Yeah.
know.
Because you have a very deceiving physique as far as it's very hard to believe looking at you that you're only 192, even though I know you've carved up a little. It's that's not the actual weight, but let's just say, a guy who's almost 5'8", 192, that doesn't sound very big, but
Right.
you see you on stage or in your videos, like, holy shit. If you had to
Right.
guess this guy's weight and I knew that you were about 5'8", I'd say he's probably about 220, maybe 225, somewhere around that range is what he looks like to me. So
Right. Right. Right.
you at 225, it would look like 250 on somebody else just because of the way the muscle bellies are in the joints. It's some guys can be 250 and they don't look that big. It's just they don't have that flow in the little joints there and they go clunky look to them.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Here's a question for you. I'm sure you've studied, or I would imagine you've studied the 212 video and pictures from this last Olympia, because that's
Mhm.
theoretically your next step next year.
Mhm.
First of all, where would you personally have? I know you weren't in the audience for 212, right?
Mhm. I
Don't
wasn't
worry.
in the audience for it. No, I wasn't. No.
But looking at the pictures and the videos, was that how you would have placed them? Kamal, Derek, Sean?
Um, Kamal definitely first. Yeah, I definitely agree. Would have placed him first. Um, with Sean Clarita and Derek. I mean, like,
Mm,
when you clearly can see that Derek will overpower Sean as far as size and everything like that. But I was really impressed with Sean Clarita's conditioning and the package he brought. I mean, that was the best Sean Clarita I've ever seen.
mm.
I mean, I'm just being honest. If it was up to me, I would have put Clarita second place.
Well, you're not alone. A lot of people expressed that same sentiment, at the
Yeah,
show. So, it's a
yeah,
sport of opinion. It's a sport of
right.
opinion anyway.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so the next question is, I'm sure in the back of your head, you at 210, the way you look about a month out from the last Olympia or last Arnold, you're about 210 at a month out, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yep. Mhm.
Where would that George Peterson have placed in that 212 Olympia lineup? Maybe.
Hmm. Hmm. I mean, hey, look, man. I'm a competitor, so I'm just gonna speak my mind. I mean, I feel like a 210 shredded, stage ready version of myself. I'm gonna say that's a potential win right there.
Yeah. I mean, I
I
don't
mean,
I don't think too many people are going to argue with you either.
yeah, I mean, top two, top two at least, but I can see myself, possibly winning, but look, but also at the same time, I know that this is a level up, these guys are, really good, and I have all the respect for them. So, and I'm coming into their world now. So I mean, also, show them all the respect that they deserve, and know that it's not going to be no cakewalk, coming in there. But at the same time, I am a competitor, so I'm coming in to do what I got to do and get a win in whatever show I do.
Right. Nobody's training for third, fourth, fifth, sixth place.
That's right.
I would hope. I mean, and if you were taking a different approach where you were going to be, talking smack about I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that in the 212s, I think there would be a lot of resentment from these guys who've been banging away in that division for 2, 3, 5, 10 years. They'd be like, who the hell does this guy think he is?
Right, right,
So,
right.
I think this is the wise approach. Not, I've never seen you be anything but humble and down to earth anyway. So I would never
Appreciate
expected that from you. But it would have been funny. It would have started another stupid little feud. But
it. Right,
we've had enough of those in the 212s. Seems to be 212 and men's physique seems to be where most of the feuds happen for
right.
whatever reason. Um, so you and Keon both immediately after Olympia announced the switch. Have you heard rumblings from any other classic guys who are thinking, those guys probably have the right idea? I think maybe I'd be better off in 212 or open.
As far as going to 212, I haven't heard anything from any other classic competitors. The only other classic guy that I've heard that's now leaving classic and going to a different division is Stanimal, but he's going to
Oh,
open. I heard.
yeah,
That's what I heard. But
yeah.
other than him, I haven't heard anybody else. Saying that they're any other say top Olympian classic guy saying that they're going to be transitioning from classic over to 212.
I have to apologize to Stanimal because I was at the Legion show and he was like 2 seats away. He waved at me. He said, "You don't know who I am?" And I just, he's like 40 pounds up from where he was at the Classic Olympia. I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
I don't know. You're some big swole up white guy with a beard. I don't know. Who are you? He goes, "It's me, Stan." I'm like, oh, okay. Well, dude, you
yeah.
didn't look anything like that the last time I saw you. So,
Right,
uh,
right.
timeline. I know way ahead of this. Is typical me. I jump way ahead of the schedule, but you're gonna have a good off season. It's gonna get into full swing probably in a few weeks.
Yeah, yeah. Hmm.
So that will give you, you don't need a ton of time. It's not like you have a ton of mass that you need to put on before you're ready for the 212.
Right.
I'm sure the entire Northeast United States wants to see you on stage at the New York Pro in May. What are the odds?
I would say the odds are pretty high for that. I mean, it's pretty high. I mean, that would be the show that I would want to do to make my 212 debut. I mean, I'm not setting anything in stone, but
Yeah,
that it is a high probability that that could be my 212 debut at the New York Pro.
yeah, because there's a lot of other shows you could do, but I don't think at your level you were so very good as a classic competitor. I can't see you jumping into some smaller show to qualify
Right,
for the Olympia just to
right,
do it to qualify. I
right.
think you want to be in the big, most competitive shows, and there is no 212 at the Arnold, and that's too soon anyway. You'd have to start your prep like next week.
Right,
Uh,
right. And I
so
and I would- and I wouldn't want to qualify like that anyway. I'm not that type of guy. I don't want to qualify just doing a some show where there's not you know not I guess that level of competition that you want to test yourself at. I'm a like I said, I'm a competitor. So if I want to if I feel like I can be one of the best, then I want to go up against the best.
yeah,
So yeah, so I mean, it's definitely a high probability that it could be the New York Pro Bowl. So but I'm going to engage it. Depending on how my progression is going into that show, and then if everything looks good, then we're a go. If things I feel like I still need more time for some reason, then I might maybe have to push it back. But I mean, we'll see. I mean, and as far as the Arnold, I mean, there is no 212 at the Arnold, so I couldn't
right,
even do that even if I wanted
right.
to.
I mean, the 212, the New York Pro, it's De La Rosa, Juan Morel. They've all said, for the New York guys, that show is very special. It's like he says, it's our Olympia because
Yeah,
it's right there. It's the show a lot of you guys have been going to since you were like amateurs, dreaming of being pros, and you almost won that show a couple years ago.
yeah,
But
yeah,
then this Breon character, who I had barely heard of at the time, shows up. I'm like, wow, this Breon kid, Breon Ansel, he's pretty good. Wow,
yeah.
I didn't even notice him at the Olympia last year, even though he was like fourth or fifth.
It's fourth
Yeah,
place,
fourth
fourth
place that
place.
first year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. No, he deserved that win at the Neo Pro because I wasn't myself at that show. He deserved that win at the Neo Pro for sure though.
yeah. Never take anything away from Breon. Breon's an amazing athlete. So you are getting into. First of all, do you still work for the cable company, or is that a thing of the past now?
No, no, I still work for the cable Optimum. I still work for them.
Okay, because you're a Redcon One athlete, and I noticed on your social media you're doing some coaching now too. Tell me about the coaching business.
All right, yeah. So because a lot of people have been asking me to do online coaching. People have been sending me DMs all the time asking me if I do it. Can I help them and everything? And I never really had the time before to do it. But now I've organized my schedule in a way where now I have more time. I have a time a day where I can spend an ample amount of time in front of my computer. Checking emails and looking at different people's pitches, progress pitches. So I officially started online coaching, and the website that I put together where people can reach out to me, read up on me is thebullcoaching.com. That's DABULL coaching.com, and they could also email me as well. My email is double DABULL LLC at gmail.com.
Ah, good. Limited liability corporation. Smart thinking. But
That's right.
do you
The
do you?
bull's officially a business.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Do you work mostly with like bodybuilding competitors, or are there a lot of like what we call lifestyle, regular people that want to get in shape?
I've gotten like a handful of different guys. Like I've gotten a handful of competitive guys, a lot of classic guys, specifically,
Right.
and then and I've gotten a handful of regular people too. I've got a guy reached out to me who's a cyclist, so he's rides bikes.
Oh wow.
But he wants to just tone up his physique a little bit. So it seems like I'm getting it from all different spectrums.
Yeah. Very cool. So doublecoaching.com, everybody.
That's right.
Yeah, look into that. Well, I didn't want to take up too much of your time. I wanted this to be a quick update because I intend to harass you about every 6 weeks or so.
That's
Because I know there's going to be a lot of progress to talk about as we're about halfway through the winter coming up.
right.
Uh, I'll be looking at your your IG is
It's
it George
George, yeah,
underscore Da Bull?
was George P underscore Da Bull.
Okay.
Yeah.
Typically, if you put in George Peterson, it fills it in, though. It finds it for you. But cool.
Usually,
Yeah.
yeah.
But everybody, check out the YouTube, because this is they're putting in some really good quality, some production quality into these videos. These are not
Yes.
your typical something I would shoot with my iPhone and call it a video.
Yeah.
These are very, very professional.
And I plan to be hooking up with Ricky Latz kind of coming, in the next couple, maybe a week or so, and we're gonna be putting out more content very soon. So everybody, stay tuned for that.
Cool. Well, George, thank you so much. Again, I've said it before, but I'm so happy you're making the switch, because I always felt this isn't his full potential.
Yeah,
This is him being held back, because I tell you, because Justin would always send me the videos and pictures like he's 205 now, or he's 208. I'm like, why can't we see this? Why can't we
yeah,
see this on stage?
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
he
yeah,
still looked awesome on stage, but that with the fullness, the pop,
yeah.
that's what I always wanted to see. And now finally we get to see the real George Peterson,
Well,
the
thank you. I
third.
appreciate
I
the
got to get
third,
that third in there.
the third.
Yeah.
But I actually I appreciate everything, Ron, and I'm gonna promise you, man. When you see me step on stage as a 212 competitor, you're gonna see a George Peterson that nobody's ever seen before. I can guarantee that. I have enough faith in myself. I have enough faith in Justin, my coach Justin Miller, to know that we are gonna make that happen. So look out for it, brother. We're coming.
I'd say about 40% of the time I believe people when they say that, but this time I believe you.
Thank you.
Everyone says I'm going to be better than ever, or this and that. I'm like, we'll see. But I do believe you, because,
Thank you.
like I said, I've already seen glimpses of it for a while
Yes.
now, so
Yes.
I know it's there. It's just been dormant. It's been hidden
Yes.
from the world. So, all right. Well, George, thank you so much for taking the time. Thanks everybody for watching the Ronline Report with this man, George Da Bull Peterson the third, and that's it. Thanks for watching Ronline Report. We'll see you next time.
See you, Ron.